In this video I'm going to be visiting 5th Helena Drive where Marilyn Monroe died, and then I'll go and visit her grave in Westwood Memorial Park. On July 13th, 1962, this was the spot where Marilyn Monroe did her final photo shoot. Now the photos are taken by a photographer called John Barris, who was Marilyn's favourite photographer. Barris was collaborating on a book titled Marilyn, Her Life in Her Own Words at the time of her death. This is Lifeguard Tower number 6. Back in July 1962 it was a different number, it used to be number 4. Marilyn chose the spot herself because it's directly opposite the home of Peter Lawford, member of the Rat Pack. This was Peter Lawford's house just in front of me here. Peter Lawford was the brother-in-law of President Kennedy, and Kennedy would stay here when he was coming to Los Angeles, and it's known that he met Marilyn Monroe here at least on one occasion. And it was the connection between Peter Lawford and John Kennedy that led to Peter Lawford being expelled from the Rat Pack by Frank Sinatra. It had been arranged for President Kennedy to visit Frank Sinatra's house in Palm Springs, and Frank Sinatra had even had a helipad built especially for the visit. But around the same time there were rumours going around that Frank Sinatra was connected to the mob, and President Kennedy chose to go to Bing Crosby's house instead. And Bing Crosby was also friends with Peter Lawford. That led to the end of Peter Lawford's association with the Rat Pack. And Peter Lawford was the final person to speak to Marilyn Monroe on the phone on the night that she died. And there's been speculation over the years that he was somehow involved in her death. Personally, I don't think so, because Marilyn had a track record of taking too many pills and then calling for help at the last moment. When Peter Lawford died, he was initially buried in the same cemetery as Marilyn Monroe, but later his ashes were removed and scattered at sea. This is Helena Street in Brentwood, Los Angeles. I'm looking for 5th Helena Drive. Coming up to number 2 here. Here we are, 5th Helena Drive. This is where Marilyn Monroe lived the last 6 months of her life. And this is where she passed away. This house here is new. Well, actually they're still building it. Let's go down the street. The house is a one-story Spanish-style house built in 1929. Marilyn bought the house in February 1962 for $77,500. And when it was put up for sale in 2017, it sold for $7.25 million. The house only had 2 bedrooms when Marilyn lived here, but it now has 4. Here we are. 12305 5th Helena Drive. According to Marilyn's housekeeper, she stayed here all day on the 4th of August 1962 and went to bed early. Eunice Murray, the housekeeper, woke up at 3 a.m. sensing that something was wrong. She saw a light under Marilyn's bedroom door, but was unable to get a response, and the door was locked. It's believed she had died between 8:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. on Saturday, August the 4th. And the coroner ruled that her death was a probable suicide, as opposed to an accidental overdose. And this is another gateway to the house. Some changes have been made to her bedroom. Her bathtub and shower have been removed and the room has been extended, but it's basically the same bedroom. The door has been moved to another wall, but the fireplace is still intact. Anna Nicole Smith lived here at one time, and she slept in the same bedroom as Marilyn. Guess these bricks would have been here at the time of her death as well. I'm not sure if the gate, yeah, I guess the gate is a different gate. There is actually a photo of Marilyn outside, standing here, so. Just have a quick look at the street. When she was coming down her drive, she definitely would have seen this house every day. Extremely quiet street. Apparently Brentwood is one of the safest parts of Los Angeles. This is the street adjacent to Marilyn's, which makes me think, can I see the house from there? I'm gonna have a look. I don't think you can, but we'll check just in case. You can't. Worth a try though. Okay, on to Westwood. Already had the shower this morning, having another one now because of these sprinklers. This is the scene of the Nicole Brown Simpson murder in the 90s. I've decided for now not to do a video about this. But as I'm passing, I'm just doing a clip for you. This is Westwood Memorial Park in Westwood Village, Los Angeles. And this is where Marilyn Monroe is entombed. I'll make my way to the grave in a bit, but I'll just show you this church here. This is where Marilyn's funeral took place. And the church was newly built when she died. So it was one of the first funerals to be held here. Now her body was kept in the mortuary here overnight, the day before the funeral. Marilyn's ex-husband Joe DiMaggio was responsible for the funeral arrangements. The night before the funeral, he arranged for 6 armed guards to protect the casket. There was a rumour that $30,000 was being offered for a photo of Marilyn in a casket. Just go around the side here, get a better look. Well, the church was so new when Marilyn died, there were actually no drapes. It was the Fox studio who supplied the drapes for the funeral. So the caskets would have been right there during the funeral. Now the newsreel footage that you usually see regarding Marilyn's death, it shows what appears to be her body being removed from her home. But that's not the case. It was actually here that footage was filmed. They were taking Marilyn's body from the mortuary here, which is a private mortuary obviously, to the coroner's office. So what you see in the video is her body's been taken from just on the corner there into a hearse here, and there's a shot of the hearse driving away down here. Now Marilyn's house was a one-story building, the same as this, so that's probably why people believe it's footage of a body being removed from the house. So that's the church over there, and the hearse would have come down this road here, up here, and Marilyn's grave is just in front of me here. She was buried in a favourite dress. It was a green dress. I'll try and show you a picture of that. And Judy Garland's song Over the Rainbow was played as Marilyn was placed head first into this wall. Probably noticed that the stone is a different colour from the others. That's because people are putting lipstick on it, and when the stone's being cleaned, it's you can't get it all off, so it's this unusual colour now. And she's buried next to Hugh Hefner. The same effect has happened on his. To show you something behind the cemetery, well, this cinema here, and the cemetery is right here. So if you come to the cinema and you're parking in the 5th parking space along, right behind that wall, it's the grave of Marilyn Monroe.